Jesmon and Alphamon are two Royal Knights who I did not discuss in the last video. However, these two Digimon have also received limits in the Digimon trading card game to their respective level 5s Savior Huckmon and Doru Greymon. Luckily, with the release of the starter deck, Jesmon had a little bit of flexibility and utilized Chimeramon for future Digivolutions, while Alphamon simply fell out of favor, with no ability to cross back into decks Doru Greymon with only one copy of Doru Greymon. Both decks remain powerful and high roll with RNG, but when they go off, they go off. For the first card of this video, I'm going over Doraemon, a new black level 2 egg that in my mind is reminiscent of Koromon from the original starter deck. However, while not DP based, it does simply draw you a card when you attack. In the grand scheme of things, I still prefer the original Doraemon because attacking can backfire on you if your Digimon is deleted, or you can't. It's not terrible though for a 5th egg, but the condition of 4 Digivolution sources means you can't utilize it with earlier stages like Dorumon or Dorugamon. The newest Huckmon is nuts in my mind, that when you play a Sistermon you may Digivolve into Bao Huckmon without paying its Digivolution cost. The inheritable gaining you a memory once per turn is another element that improves the memory efficiency of Jesmon decks, and makes you less dependent on Sistermon Seal from BT6. Would you abandon the Sistermon? Not by a long shot. But you can make space now for other variants as you gain memory here. Bao Huckmon also has the same inheritable and for the most part your turn effect, but Digivolves into Savior Huckmon for its Digivolution cost. If you do Digivolve by this effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. Crazy value! Savior Huckmon has the same Your Turn effect, but lets you Digivolve into Jesmon, which, when you do, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. And like starter deck Savior Huckmon, you may play a Digimon with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost when you attack. Jesmon also returns. On play and when Digivolving, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose DP adds up to 6,000 or less, and delete them. For every other Digimon you have in play, add 2,000 DP to the maximum. Meaning if you can accumulate enough Sistermons on the field, it's plausible to delete a DP total of 10 or even 12,000 DP, if you have 2 or 3 additional Digimon in play. As for its all turns effect, your Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for each other Digimon with Sistermon in its name, or Royal Knight in its traits, in play. In a pure Jesmon deck, the buff could be enough to keep certain Digimon alive. Finally, Gankumon has an on-play when Digivolving effect that lets you play 1 Digimon with Sistermon in its name from trash, or 2 Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits from the Digivolution cards of one of your Digimon in the breeding area without paying its play cost. However, you cannot play Omnimon or Gankumon with this effect to create a chain of events. Well, at least Bandai thought this one through. In a few lists I've looked at online, this Gankumon isn't run in Jesmon decks primarily because you're already tight on space, and you run at most the Gankumon X antibody to slot for GX. Some variants drop Chimeramon altogether, while others may tech in 1 or 2. Personally, this is an untested list I'm looking into right now, but will finalize in a future video. Now on the other spectrum, we have Alphamon. Dorumon returns as another Digimon that gives your Digimon plus 1000 DP while it has the X antibody trait. Though personally I feel BT7 Dorumon and BT8 Ryudamon are priority for the fact that searching trumps buffs. Especially when Alphamon can get big on its own with its stat line. Not to mention, Dorugamon usually has you covered. Dorugamon returns as a non-blocker Digimon, but with the same inheritable as his previous BT7 counterpart. That all turns plus 1000 DP. And with this Digimon now, you can completely replace the Ginryumon previously in order to maximize your Dorugamon slots for the Evo into Dex Dorugamon. The best part? This Digimon has a play cost of 4. That is super cheap and perfect. Now, my possible favorite card of this set, Doru Greymon. Because of the restriction to Doru Greymon, it made it impossible to play the Doru Goromon and Dex Doru Goromon decks if you wanted to X-Evolve into Dex Doru Greymon. Now with this Doru Greymon, you have that capability again. When Digivolving, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, place 1 card with X antibody and its traits among them, and if a card is placed this way, this Digimon can't be DP reduced until the end of the turn. And you trash the remaining cards. Its inheritable, unlike Security Attack Plus 1, lets you end of turn once per turn place 1 Digimon card with X antibody and its traits from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution source. meaning you'll always have ways to utilize Doraemon, and maybe even Dorumon if it's in the Digivolution sources. Alphamon is the last card to go over for this lineup, and on play when Digivolving, you may play a Digimon with X antibody or Royal Knight and its traits from your trash under this Digimon. And until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 10 or more cannot attack a player, meaning this shuts off raid effects because they can't attack a player first before switching targets. All turns, once per turn when this Digimon would leave the battle area by an effect, by placing one card with X antibody or Royal Knight and its traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck, prevent it. This is some amazing protection that prevents your Digimon from leaving play, from even cards like Chaos Degrade and Lunky Attestacto. But for Lunky, the DP reduction can remove Alphamon because it is being deleted by game mechanic, not card effect. There are many Alphamon lists out in Japan that topped, and with the style that North America typically gravitates to, definitely expect this deck to return with vengeance from the restriction. Let me know your thoughts on what you expect in the upcoming meta with not just Jesmon, but Alphamon as well. Both of these Royal Knights are also run in the Yggdrasil Royal Knight deck, and can be beneficial for wider board building or control elements. But above all, which Royal Knight will you be using the most? This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.